Speaking Our Collective Heads, I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
2015 was a big year. 2016 is coming up. 2015 was a pretty good year for gaming.
Yeah.
And we wanted to kind of do our kind of year-end wrap-up of some of our categories and the best and worst in performances.
I used to get upset whenever I was like, year-end, the year's not over yet. But now that I'm actually tracking news,
it's basically over.
Yeah, all of the launches have happened now.
Yes.
And like there's nothing else coming out this calendar year.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Exactly.
And
so it is the end.
Right. So, with that in mind, we wanted to kind of give you a couple of categories and kind of the highlights of the year. Obviously, the most important highlight is that we started this.
We did. Yeah. It's the best. It's the biggest.
And we also have the same inaugural year as the Kind of Funny Games guys because they started January 5th or whatever. Yep. So they have a slight head start on us.
Just a little bit.
And a slightly bigger audience.
I think they'll do all right.
They'll be okay.
They'll be okay. Yeah. So we've got a couple categories we wanted to go over. Some that we don't normally see in shows, some that we do. So we wanted to give those to you. So one of them was the best and worst launches of a game. Mm-hmm. Best is hard to kind of nail down because with game launches, great. The best
launch you don't hear.
You don't usually hear about it. I'm going to give this to Metal Gear Solid 5, though. The launch of this game was phenomenal. It had the right amount of hype, as well as soon as you got the game, it wasn't completely busted.
And it was a massive game that has really, honestly, kind of the fewest amount of bugs and glitches and things. Like it is a solid, completely open and enormous, competent game.
It really is.
And I didn't even see because a lot of times people love to share glitches and bugs and like that kind of stuff, and I just didn't see that with Metal Gear.
Yeah,
and
there aren't that many. Most of what I saw were people doing swaps on the PC version, and you could do a swap of characters. So that was really funny seeing Ocelot doing some interesting things. But I think it had the best launch. The worst launch. There's a couple in this category that could be on this category, but I think hands down it goes to one specific game.
On one specific platform.
Exactly.
Is the Arkham Asylum.
The Arkham Knight.
Arkham Asylum?
Arkham Knight, third arguably in the trilogy, quadrilogy. I'm not going to count.
It's Rocksteady's trilogy.
Yeah, I'm not going to count Origins. So Arkham Knight on PC, which was so bad that they pulled it from Steam. They pulled it from being sold
and offered refunds. And 3 months after launch, it was still broken.
Yeah,
and that's the thing because Just Cause has also had a really rough launch, particularly on console.
Yes.
But we haven't seen this amount of fallout and just destruction of a game because I don't think I've ever seen a game this big crash that hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was just a really weird thing. And I love WB, and I like a lot of the stuff that they come out with, but if they're willing to do this with a title, especially one as big as Arkham Knight, I'm sorry, I can't trust you anymore.
Yeah.
And
this is supposed to be the last of the Arkham games, allegedly. And this is how you treated the PC players. So that's not okay. Shame on you. So another one of our categories was the most hype for a game, which I don't think anyone will argue with me. It was Fallout 4.
Because they had this window, and we think of it as a relatively short window, but I mean we had a good 6 months to be super excited about it, and I don't really feel like that ever fell off because they revealed it, and then they said we're going to reveal it, then they revealed it. And then they kind of went away. Yeah. And every once in a while they'd come back and be like, "Yeah, it's coming. You're gonna love it."
Yeah.
And then it came out, and
I think it was the perfect launch as well in regards to hype. Now, not in regards to the game aspect, Metal Gear Solid got it for overall launch, but in regards to hype and timing for that, to say we've got it, it's official. Oh, and here's a mobile game for free.
Right now.
So for iPhone users at least, and Android got it afterwards.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
and see another piece of this, and the hype was the community.
Yes,
it wasn't artificially induced because there are games that when they come out, when Syndicate, when Assassin's Creed, whatever comes out, you're going to see the commercials incessantly. You're going to see the Destiny commercials constantly. I don't think those ever go away. Like, Destiny just always has ads on.
Yeah.
But Fallout was just one that they said, hey, to be excited for this one. Yeah. We'll see you in a couple of months when we release the game.
And there were some TV spots with for Fallout, and it was the live action trailer, which was just amazing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I think that most hype, and deservedly most hype. I don't see as much. There weren't people who were crazy hyped about it, and it was just horrible. Not like like Battlefront, which could have been in there for hype. It definitely could have been in there. For unappreciated game, though, there are a lot of that could be on this as well.
Same day.
There could be a lot on this too. The same day as Metal Gear. The same day as Fallout 4, Tomb Raider. Rise of the Tomb Raider. So the just really unfortunate, underappreciated. Great follow up game that people will probably play in 2016.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
And it's just one of those situations where, like, because there are games that come out that kind of fly under the radar, and we don't hear a whole lot about them. But, like, I have heard a lot about Tomb Raider, and, like, people who are in the industry who, get games early or for free or whatever, they get to sample. I can't play this one yet. I'll play it next year, though.
Yep, when it comes to PS4.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And it's just really sad. It's a similar situation where Mad Max, but even to a greater degree.
Yeah.
And I feel like that there is a good bit of crossover as far as the audience goes.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you couldn't have, even if you put it like in January.
Yeah. It would
go up against anything but Fallout. Why would you go up against Fallout?
They didn't know, and they should have bumped it at that point. You actually brought up the other game that I was going to mention for underappreciated game, the honorary mention, which is Mad Max.
Yeah.
Similar scenario, going up against Metal Gear.
Yep.
And I think that I know they probably couldn't have rushed it to get it out around the time of the movie. That would have think best scenario.
I think that was probably the original plan.
And then they had to bump.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. So we also wanted to give a little total for, as you know, we've been following all of the games with the Xbox games with gold and the PlayStation Plus offerings. Yes. And we wanted to kind of do a roundup of those. First of all, tell you how much, if you were paying for your yearly subscription, how much value did you actually get? Because a lot of times it's if you aren't watching it, it's hard to quantify.
And briefly, these numbers are pulled from Polygon. Polygon has an excellent article, kind of giving a summary and drilling down to the details of like monthly totals and the Metacritic scores and how well these games were received. And it's a really interesting article to just kind of look at and see their strategies and things, because Xbox tends to have bigger name titles and a higher overall price point, and PlayStation will just throw some weird stuff at you that you might not have even known existed.
Yeah,
and that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So the grand total of monetary value that was given to you on Xbox One and Xbox 360 was $946.53 with an average price per game of $20.37.
Yeah.
So considering that, I mean, I wait for sales, but that is an astounding value.
It is,
especially if you do take the time to. I mean, if you find 3-4 games that you really sink your teeth into that you would have bought otherwise,
you made your money back.
This is paid for itself, and and it's a really cool deal. And then PlayStation Plus, the grand total was $1,053.36, which is $100 higher, but they also had another platform on which to release, because they have the PS4, PS3, PS Vita.
Yeah.
And honestly, their PS3 offerings were incredible.
PS3 offerings were great. And so the average on this was $14.63.
Right.
This doesn't take into account also the Xbox is now doing the backwards compatibility stuff. The PlayStation was doing this. I noticed in the article, at least unless my numbers were wrong, the crossplay value on this. Because if you're essentially getting the game on PS4 and PS3, or PS4, PS3 Vita, you're getting a choice of that, or play it on both, play it on all.
But they're only counting that as one.
They count it as one price point. So it's arguably worth more because of that. Because they're not just giving it to you on one of those platforms.
Yeah.
So.
And the other thing is, like, if you don't have, because like I was collecting the PS4 and Vita ones well before I had a PS4 or Vita.
Same here.
And so when you get it, you already have this collection of games, and that is tremendous value.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of value, so one of some best and worst games for each one. So you had one you wanted to nominate for best.
Rogue Legacy.
Yeah.
For PS4 and Vita was so much fun. Mm-hmm. Like I really enjoy roguelikes. You know that.
Yep.
And Rogue Legacy was just a blast because the controls were tight, the story was fun, it was weird, and it was just a thing that I kept coming back to, and the randomness that was in there, but you slowly build up power, and it's just a lot of fun.
It really is.
And just
difficult, but not too difficult. I'd say it's in the realm of Castlevania, kind of that kind of area where it's like, okay, this is challenging, but I don't feel like I'm like Binding of Isaac, where I feel like I'm hitting my head against a wall for a long time.
And actually, before we leave best, Super Meat Boy, has to be on there.
Super Meat Boy needs to be on this as well. Finally coming to Vita and PlayStation 4. That game was great. It's another very challenging game, but very, very rewarding and simple. It's beauty in its simplicity for Super Meat Boy. I'm really glad that I finally got to play it and got to enjoy this.
Yeah.
On the other end of the spectrum for the Xbox side, Black Flag. Mm-hmm. Getting Black Flag, that alone should be worth. I'm sorry, I know it's it's older game now. An older game, a year and a half old now.
Yeah.
That's still my favorite Assassin's Creed game. You get to be a pirate, and they did the pirating so well. And the boat and steering a boat is done so well. A perfect blend of realism as well as arcadey motion, because the battles are considerably quicker in the game than it would be in real life. But the way
that's absolutely necessary.
Yeah,
because real life Caribbean battles and it
would have taken forever to position your boat, and then you shoot and you miss because they've been repositioning to miss. Yeah, it's the whole Monkey Island thing.
Well, I also feel like Black Flag is kind of the Black Flag is the Black Ops of that series, because there's this annualized franchise that's coming out every year, but then this one comes out, and it's the same mechanics, but it is a very different approach to and a very different game than any of the other
Syndicate
ones.
In with that. In regards to Unity was kind of the other year of that, if you want to. Yeah. So we had some really bad offerings though.
They were.
In regards to, you get this many games. I'd say, in my opinion, I think Xbox was more consistent in the games that they were coming out with, because they were trying to pick big name games.
Yeah, they want you to recognize and be excited about it before you even start to research.
But PlayStation had some amazing games that I wouldn't have played, and may have not even heard of.
Yeah,
and I still had an amazing time playing it. So, but the worst offering for
Rocket League.
Rocket League.
How did we skip Rocket League?
Rocket League.
Yes.
I forgot. I thought that was what, February? Something around that?
Yeah,
Rocket League.
Definitely this year.
This year.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
And that game just took off, because like you hear, supersonic rocket powered acrobatic battle cars. Yeah. I messed that up. Cameron would have done it. Maybe we'll get him on the show and he can rattle it off, because he said it like 5 times in a row last night. Super speed. Starts to sound weird after a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rocket League was just a thing that's like, it's RC car soccer. And you hear the concept bonkers. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
But then you play it.
Yeah.
And it's so fun, and it's really, really hard, but you're still enjoying it. And like I said on last week's episode, there aren't that many games that you can play for 10 minutes. This is one of them. This fills that gap, and I can sit down and play it for 10 minutes. I can sit down and play it for 3 hours. Yeah,
I've done that. It's perfect. It's the only drawback is that if you're playing online, obviously you can't put it down for 5 minutes. But
Yeah.
That's the only drawback. If there wasn't that, which is, to me, it's not a negative. That just has to come to territory playing online. So,
but I mean, the matches are short enough. Give me 5 minutes, I'll be done.
Yeah, just a minute, and I'll help you pick that thing up or whatever. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. So back over to the worst.
There were three, I guess, that stuck out to me. Top one would have to be Invisimals.
Yeah.
Because
on Vita, because it was a PSP game that used AR, and you had to have like a chip thing that came with the game. I don't have that.
Yeah.
We didn't have that, and this was the only game that we just didn't review.
Yeah, we couldn't. We could have spent a bunch of extra time to review it, but then we would have had to tell everyone else how to do that, direct them to links. It was not fair for them to do that without. Now, if they had offered something on the website and said, "Hey, here's a PDF.
Print this
PDF."
Yeah, sure.
Little video of someone showing you how to cut it out and fold it, and then you're good. But didn't do that.
No, that's not okay, Sony.
Yeah,
stop it.
Not okay at all. Another thing that wasn't okay was on Xbox. Pool Nation FX was on Xbox for 3 months of the year,
and this was also when they said, because they were doing a title per console, and they were like, we're doing 2 every month. We're stepping up our game. And then Pool Nation FX was one of those 2 for 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
Okay, delay it.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, in 2 months we'll start giving you 2 games. But if you don't have another game, that this doesn't count.
No, it did not count.
And it became a running joke of Pool Nation FX.
Pool Nation FX. To me, what became a running joke was Metal Gear Ground Zeroes. So this came out. This has now been out on for free on PS4, PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One.
Yep.
It's been out for everything, and I've kind of put that into the worst offerings for both, because it was specifically offered on it. They're trying to cover everybody, and
every time they acted like it was a big thing.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's Ground Zeroes. Yeah, okay. But it came out on 360 after Phantom Pain, right?
After Phantom Pain. Yeah.
So, no thanks.
Yeah. Side note in all of this as well, there were some duplicates that Castle Crashers was one of them. Chariot was on. Chariot is also going to be on there. So, Castle Crashers first was on March, I believe, of this year, and then came out again. So March on Xbox One, and then more recently on Xbox 360, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is correct.
And then Chariot came out for Xbox One back in, I want to say, January of this year. I'd have to double check. I don't even remember when it was.
Yeah.
When Chariot came out on that, and then it came out on PS3. It was offered on PS3.
Yeah.
Not
and
PS4.
Not cross-buy to PS4.
There was no reason for that.
So I'm not... Nope.
There was no reason for that.
Yeah.
So in kind of an overview, what was the biggest news for you for 2015? There's a lot.
I want to say just Fallout. Just coming out and being like, Fallout.
Yes.
We've been absent since Skyrim. Here's the game. And like, this was a thing that where the hype kind of swept me up, because I have this gap where I was in my courtship phase,
sure,
and getting married and kids and stuff, and like that chunk where I just didn't really get to play a whole lot. So like Fallout 3 and Skyrim both fell during that time period, and so I had not played Fallout, but I see it, and I see the potential, and I was super excited, and I love the world building, and for them to do an announcement, and then the full announcement including a mobile thing, and then dark, and then the game comes out. Like that for me was the perfect launch and the way to get me excited about the game.
Yeah.
And so that was the biggest news that we kind of saw coming.
Yeah.
And then the one that I heard the most people getting super excited about was the backwards compatibility, because
for
backwards
Xbox
compatibility,
One.
yeah. And like even
PS,
if we don't
PS4, PS2, I guess we'll throw in there as well. I mean,
that's true. Yeah. because that was something that I didn't think was going to happen because they had PS Now and they spent $450 million. But like that was a thing, and and so give that.
Yeah. To me, those, but Final Fantasy VII being remade for a recent console. This is, in my opinion, there are only few games that deserve a remake like that, and that's one of them that deserves to. I bought this probably I think I bought the game 4 times now. Yeah. I'm going to buy it again.
And that's me with 6. I bought it all over the place.
Yep. This is going to be massive. All however many parts there are. It's just going to be amazing, and I can't wait to play it. It was like I heard that I didn't get to watch the conference live, and when I heard about that, I thought, oh, okay, they're porting it to PS4. Okay, whatever. No, it's really happening. The dream is alive.
That thing you've wanted forever.
Yeah. And I'll put in the I guess I'll put as an honorary mention Shenmue 3. I'm putting this as an honorary mention because I didn't get to play the other games.
Well,
but for it to be resurrected in this
also honorary mention and things being resurrected is Last Guardian that had become a joke.
Yeah.
I'm
so hopeful on this.
I wanted.
I hope this is
Bird Dog.
I hope this is not the Duke Nukem that. I really hope it's not. So overall, best. Your most favorite game and least favorite game. What was your favorite game?
Favorite is Bloodborne.
Yeah.
God, I love Bloodborne.
Yeah, it's actually the same for me.
Yeah.
Fallout's been doing great. I'm loving Fallout, but Bloodborne overall, to say this is something brand new. Okay, yeah, I played the Souls games, but this is different. This is Skyrim to Fallout 3 is the way I look at it. You have a lot of the same mechanics, but it's a different story. It's a similar feel. And this was just amazing. Brand new IP.
And the other thing is, like, there are things that we love Fallout 4, but we know it's broken.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that are just kind of they fall through the world. These things happen.
Yeah.
Bloodborne, if I go back and I think about my entirety of experience with Bloodborne, what would I want to be different?
Yeah.
What would I want them to fix? What would I want them to add? I just want more.
Yeah, that's it.
And because like the world building and the way that they've done it, I take it back. And I want them to make it officially part of the Demon's Souls universe.
Yeah, totally.
Because Umbasa in the beta, and that was our one clue that they might be in the same world. I want it to be official, and I want, But I mean, like that game, the story, the lore, the gameplay itself, the feeling of accomplishment you get going through it, and the progression, and the bosses, and just all of that game, is so special to me.
Yeah.
And so, that is unquestionably my favorite. Mario Maker, though.
Yeah.
So fun.
Mario Maker is amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't... If it wasn't for the gamepad, I don't think the game would be as good. The gamepad being able to create... it makes you able to snap and create these levels a lot. Just drag, click, and drag.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that. Yeah, if it was done with a Wiimote, it would have been... It would have been pretty bad.
And it's also one of those things that we never really know what to expect from Nintendo. Yeah. But this was something that I did not expect on a whole nother level, because they were like, go ahead, you make a level, see what you can do with it. And the things that the community has come up with, and the creative ways that people have been able to really do. And the other thing is that it makes people appreciate level design.
Yes.
And how freaking hard it is.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do. But like, there have been, even just to watch, like, I can't think of another game that I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
More than Mario Maker.
Yeah. It's a fun trade-off game.
Yeah.
Like a party or whatever.
And I think it could have been my favorite game of the year if they had better curation. Like, it takes some work to get to have only the good stuff, and you're going to have to slog through some other crap. to get to the really high quality ones. But
I think that'll get better over the next year.
Oh, definitely, and it already has to some extent. You can start to filter and stuff like that, and it's also a game that has been supported post launch. And that's something that, again, we're not accustomed to with Nintendo.
Not with Nintendo, no. Normally it's just like, there it is.
So, yeah. Here's a game.
So one of my least favorites was The Order 1886.
I wanted it to be good.
that's why it's my least favorite. It isn't necessarily a bad game. I felt like I was hyped up for a specific product, and I got probably a quarter of the amount of gameplay that I wanted to get out of it. Yeah. It's concise, but way overpriced for what it was. You can pick this up now for considerably cheaper.
Yeah, it's like $10 bucks.
Yeah, if you see it for $10 or $15, pick it up and enjoy it for that. But it should not have launched as a full price game.
Yeah,
not at all. And that's the only reason I put it as my least favorite, because of that reason. There were some lame games that I played, but I didn't have high hopes for them.
Yeah,
I had high hopes for this.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the whole hype machine working against it.
Yeah.
Most unexpected game, I'm gonna put Until Dawn.
Yeah,
because that was something that it's just this. Do you want to play a slasher flick? What?
Yes, I do.
What?
Yes, I do. I wouldn't have expected to play. I wouldn't have. Well, no, actually, I would have.
Well, yeah, obviously, but that was just one. Yeah,
most people didn't know how great that was going to be.
Sony didn't.
No, they didn't,
because they did not promote that game, and that was just one where the groundswell of support of just people talking about it.
Yeah.
So much fun, and I'm going to put Rocket League in there with that as unexpected, because it's one of those where you hear the concept and you're mostly confused, but then you play it and you immediately get it.
Yeah.
And so I like that.
I'll completely agree with that. So what games do you intend to play in 2016?
I'm going back for The Witcher.
You go back to The Witcher? Witcher 3, yeah.
Witcher 3, because I didn't get to that one, and that looks like my kind of thing. I love the action. I love the world building. I love ginormous games that come out, and so that's the one I'm going back for. And then I'm also starting Life is Strange.
Yeah, and that's one that I have to play.
Yeah,
I have to play next year.
That just seems like so much fun. And then there's a couple of others that came out that I heard things about. Her Story and Undertale. Yeah, it's just ones that I've heard about. I don't know a whole lot about them, but I'm probably going to go to track those down. But the two that I will commit to is Witcher 3 and Life is Strange.
So mine, Fallout 4.
That's not going back to. That's staying in.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I guess Far Cry 4.
Came out last year.
Came out last year. That's true. It did come out last year. Well, shoot. What else? So I guess Life is Strange I got to put on my list as well. What else in 2015? What did I miss? Battlefront. I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
Because I love Star Wars, and I don't want to support that practice, but it's Star Wars and it looks so gorgeous,
and it's so pretty.
Also, Halo 5.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to play that without Whitney, which sucks. But I'll put that on my list as well, because it's a big game. It's an important game, but I have not played it because of that reason.
Yeah.
No couch co-op for the campaign, and then Battlefront, couch co-op but no campaign.
Yeah. Come on, people.
Yeah.
And like when Randy Pitchford came out and he was like, Battleborn, it's going to have a couch co-op and campaign. I was like, wait, what?
What?
Like I tuned in, because there's a couple of games that just like I hear the name and my eyes just kind of glaze over and I'm like,
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But you give me campaign, you give me couch co-op.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
I'm in on that, yeah.
And you give me a penguin in a mech suit. So any game that has a penguin in a mech suit, I'll give it a shot. I
was going to say King's Quest was going to be on my list as well.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be playing it, so I don't have to, because I was offered this month, so I haven't played it yet, but I will be playing, so very happy about that.
Yeah.
So what'd you miss this year? What do you think? Did we miss something that you thought was a better game or a better launch or a worse launch? Tell us in the comments.
Indeed.
What you think. And we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Goody.
Yep. You're tired and I'm jet lagged. Let's do this.